Well, good evening, darlings. How are y'all doing? Guess what? It's another night of Love is Blind Season 5's. Well, messiness. What can I say? What can I say? But first off, who had a great night? It's Thursday night. And guess what? Your Auntie Sarsci doesn't actually have work tomorrow. Ah, what a fabulous thing. I know, I know. If only we can make that every week, huh? Yeah, I know. Well, I can keep on dreaming. What can I say? But first, before I forget, thank you again, darlings, for subscribing and remaining subscribers. And for those of you who have not yet subscribed to your Auntie Cersei, would you mind doing me a favor and subscribing so you can have updates of your auntie's snarky snarks? And a few words of wisdom here and there. Har har har. Oh, and by the way, I hope that you had a very good day and one more day to the weekend. And before I forget, also, for you, my Tagalog speakers and watchers and or listeners, magandang umaga, magandang hapon, magandang tanghali, at magandang gabi sa inyong lahat ng mga kapitbahay, kapamilya, at kapuso, and kabaro, at kung kanino man. Let's go right on in to our Love is Blind Season 5's deep dive. I'm calling this one the rotten mess of uncoupled couples. I mean, honestly, how many red flags can you actually count in this season? We are going to do a deeper dive into the honeymooners' Mexico getaway and beyond. Now, shall we? We are going to start first off with Captain America and Taylor. Yes, that would be JP and Taylor. Those two, they fell in love in the pods, and once they saw each other, though, it's like the dam broke, and neither one admitted it at first, but they were certainly not each other's types. I mean, are you not allowed to admit it after the fact? I don't know. But Taylor for her part though, she was still trying to romanticize JP, or the idea of JP, although she had a side comment about his tooth gap. I mean, yeah. JP literally could not hold his tongue back when he told Taylor that she was a new person because when he saw her first, initially, she had makeup on. What? I'm sorry, huh? Say that one more time. I think you're speaking in some other language that I don't understand, honey. He said that he prefers she doesn't put on a ton of makeup because she looks like a different person with it on. Wait, sir. I think either you don't have your contacts on, or you need contacts, or you need your eyes checked altogether. Seriously. Seriously? How is she looking like a different person with makeup on? Hardly any difference. Period. When she has makeup on, when she doesn't. I mean, I just hello, sir. Oof. I mean, the guy had the gall to say this to her, and further complains that he even got makeup all over his jacket during the reveal. Wow. Wow. The guy who looks like he's about 40 years old, going on 60, just plain called her ugly with makeup on, and proceeded to order her not to wear makeup anymore. Huh? Thank goodness Taylor had the clearance of mind to walk away from this dude. Snap, 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 snap for Taylor. She couldn't have walked away from him faster. Like, if she could, she probably would prefer that he's like all the way there in Pluto while she's here on Earth. That far. Or like, live in another continent. I mean, that might be easier. But I'm just saying. I don't know what JP was expecting, that like she wears bloomers underneath her skirts or what. Like, hello, this ain't the 1700s, dude. Women drive their own cars now. They don't ride the wagons anymore or just sit at home birthing children, for goodness sakes. They actually have jobs now. I'm just saying. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, enough about them. And moving on along to our next couple, Lydia and Milton. These two. Is it me? Or do you also feel the same? That these two are not in love? Like, they like each other, for sure. Are they actually in love? I don't feel like that. I don't get that connection from them when I see them on the screen together. Like, love is thrown around between these two seemingly to try and debunk the other contestants' impressions of their closeness, because it really just strikes me as two besties and nothing more. There's nothing electric, nothing that would make you swoon about them as a couple. Does Lydia come off bossy? Of course. She seems to also relish that fact, but we have to also give it to Milton, because he does stand his ground when he feels like she's pushing him too far out of his comfort zone. Like, do I also feel like Lydia is still stuck on Uche or Izzy? Perhaps. Maybe. She seems to really try, though, with all of her power, to show everybody that she's only got eyes for Milton and that he's her person. Okay. I don't, however, feel that way, because with her previous actions, I feel like she's overdoing the love bombing and affection. Like, it's just the front and nothing more. Like, it's just, surface level. Milton, for his part, seems to relish having a partner in crime, albeit it doesn't always come off as a romantic love. Like I said earlier, it comes off like two besties who occasionally get their rocks off between the sheets. Enough said. And then we move on to our third couple, Izzy and Stacy. Why do I feel like Izzy is more attracted to Stacy's freewheeling attitude, but not much else? There's nothing between these two beneath the surface. Their coupling seems to be like they'd be okay just having fun. No emotional attachments. However, it seemed to actually hit home for Izzy when they were at Stacy's new home, which she purchased on her own dime and is currently renovating. I mean, the woman works for the things she does have in her life, and bravo to her. Which includes, of course, traveling in style. First class only, baby. And this woman isn't going to sit at the back of the plane, okay? To sit next to Izzy. Excuse me, sir. She's not the one. Well, unless it's private. That is. Izzy, for his part, does have a nice apartment. It's clean and organized for a single dude, but why does he have a memento drawer of ladies' things left behind? Those who've shared his bed and tumbled out missing. Let me see. A hoop earring here, an index ring finger there, a scrunchie perhaps, and we know it doesn't belong to Izzy since he's bald. Holder. And other one night stand things that these bedroom bunnies of Izzy's have left behind. Like, why do you need an entire drawer of their lost things? Was Izzy hoping they return and, get to do the do again? And maybe add to the collection? I don't know. It's, you know what? It's giving that kind of vibe, like the vibe. And his financial state is also quite unstable because, according to Izzy, he just landed his insurance sales job. And then 2 weeks later, after landing that job, he had to leave to go on Love is Blind season 5. Like, dude, I hope you at least can cover rent for the next 6 months, because I don't know if you still have a job to return to. Was Stacy cognizant of this? She sure made sure Izzy is aware she is not going Dutch for dinner. He is paying. End of story. And she even brought up that he has to put up money to pay for things that will eventually need repair in Stacy's home, like the AC. Yup. Stacy is not here to play. Nope. Her lifestyle is definitely something that makes Izzy's innards do the salsa. Hashtag just saying. But wait, after all of that, why are we graced by Uche's presence at all? He's not coupled with anyone. Not Lydia, not Aaliyah, not anyone on the show, but why in the heck is he allowed to continue his messy ways and grace our screens? Question marks everywhere. First, Aaliyah, girl, you need to stop this madness. You love to be emotionally controlled. Like, seeking out an audience with Uche after you already left the show is not something to be proud of. The man literally shredded your person head to pieces. And yet here you are, begging for an audience with him. Are you a masochist? And to continue with your, I'm still in love with you, I want to continue to have a relationship with you outside of filming. Girl, stop. Just stop it. Aren't there enough quality men in Houston you can actually get to know and maybe be in a relationship with? Is Uche the only one? I mean, he cannot be the only one. Lord. Aaliyah, girl, you need an exorcist. The ghost of Uche has strongly gripped you. But then again, Uche is not the most outstanding personality either. We've already been shown his affinity for shredding people's self-esteem to pieces, like I said. What are lawyers for, huh? He is quite adept at throwing people off their tracks. Like, and his. Including pretending to be in a relationship with Lydia prior to the show, or pretending not to see the wisdom in Alicia's ghosting him, or his attempt at, like pretending not to be in a relationship with Lydia prior to the show, or his attempt at like siphoning information out of Milton as to Milton's top choices in the pods, or trying to get Milton to trying to get into Milton's head about needing not to be engaged to leave the experiment. Like, this man is. He beguiles and lures, and once you're caught in his net, wastes no time deconstructing you and reshaping you according to his whims. Ladies, don't let your guard down around him, or you'll be left with buckets of tears. So we also see a bonus scene of the couples post the Mexico getaway, hanging out with the rest of the pod castmates, with like the hometown, what do you call this, get together or something, where, of course, production has to make sure we know, the viewers, that they are feeding these people, aka, serving them food. Barbecue served with a side of alcohol and side eyes, because what else pairs well with barbecue and alcohol? Tea, honey. And it is best served cold by no less than the twin villains, Uche and Izzy. Let's first talk about Izzy and his side conversation / takedown of Johnny, who is now paired up with Chris after their near miss inside the ponds. I don't get why Izzy had to go into attack mode with Johnny when he claims to already be happily engaged to Stacy, because we all know their coupling is sus. Period. Izzy proceeded to insult Johnny, has never met, who he has never met until, that um that moment outside of the pods. And I'm like, uh what the hell? Like, he even went as far as calling her sketchy AF. I mean, the underlying reason for that unnecessary emotional cruelty still eludes me. Like, dude, what the hell? What was the point? And like, for him to like walk back to Stacy almost like jubilant that he cut down this girl who he used to have some sort of feelings for, to make himself feel like the big, mature, emotionally solid man he is, at least in his eyes, really speaks volumes as to his true character. Like, what a joke. I'm glad for his ex-fiance. I mean, I don't know what happened with them. I forget if he even mentioned it, but she definitely dodged a bullet right there. Literally. Second of our two villains would be Uche, of course. Who else would it be, right? Why was he here still? Okay, look. Maybe he really wanted to get things off his chest and clarify this confusion between himself, Aaliyah, and Lydia about Lydia's actions towards Aaliyah and the pods, leading up to Aaliyah ultimately leaving the experience without telling Uche. So, this is a whole new unprecedented kind of drama, because in the seasons past, there has never been two actual cast members who dated each other outside the pods prior to filming the show. And it turns out, per the creator of the show, Chris Seelan, Uche and Lydia were fully candid with both Aaliyah and Milton, both specifically saying that producers instructed them to not share this information with others about, having dated each other, Uche and Lydia, outside of the show, because this information would ruin the experiment for others. Further, Uche and Lydia were separately approached by producers that they had to ultimately leave the show because knowing each other from the outside world, gave them an unfair advantage and defeats the purpose of participating in the experiment. Although they were also advised that if they wished to date each other, they should do so, but outside the show. With that, though, both Uche and Lydia, however, apparently insisted that, in these separate conversations with them with producers, that they each wanted to continue filming and reassured the producers they had zero interest in dating each other. However, as we all know now, they were allowed to stay. And by day 6 or 7, the producers were able to breathe a sigh of relief because that's around the point when they had developed real feelings towards Aaliyah and Milton respectively. So with that, the producers felt like they had organically developed feelings. So they could stay, basically. But with all this info though, why was Uche still hell-bent on confronting Lydia about her actions pre-filming, whether she knew he had applied to be part of the show, her, according to him, apparent stalking of him and his Instagram followers, and other instances where he feels like she's overreached past his boundaries. He was not, however, allowing Lydia to get a word in, so I'm still on the fence about his motives. Lydia, for her part, was able to drop that Uche may have been unfaithful while they were dating, hence the need for her sleuthing around him and his contacts. Much isn't divulged because, again, Uche was not going to allow Lydia to speak her side of the truth. So, does Uche look better after this confrontation? No, not at all. Not to me, anyway. He seems to relish confronting women about their actions, which he deems untoward, and yet is unable to admit to his own shortcomings. But do we really expect more from Uche? Do we really, though? Do we? No, not at all. Perhaps the next episodes will shed a light on his and Lydia's past. But at this point, do we really need to talk about this anymore? Lydia's with Milton. At least she's pretending to be happy if the scenes between the two are to be believed. So all we can do at this time is to let this rotten mess ride the waves all the way to the altar. Or not. Because we'll have to wait and see for that one. Now, won't we? And we are ending it with that, darlings. And again, before I forget, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't already subscribed, won't you do your Auntie Sarsci a favor and subscribe to my channel for more snarky snarks and words of wisdom. And remember, you are fabulous, and don't you forget it. Leave some grace for others and continue to journey in gratitude. I, darling, will be seeing you in the next go round. And you know when that would be? Tomorrow, because there is the new episodes of Love is Blind. Who do you think is gonna make it to the altar? I don't think anybody's actually going to say yes. Like, I don't think anybody of the couples that are left are going to say yes. I really don't. I know it's so pessimistic and such like a dark cloud kind of foreboding thing, but you know, you gotta keep it 100. And yes, I do not feel like any of them would actually make it past I do. Just saying. Yeah. Anywho, I shall talk to you, darlings, later. And don't forget, you are all kinds of fabulous. Alright. Good night, darlings. It is, I don't even know, almost midnight. And I just wanted to finish that so we can move on to the altar scenes tomorrow. Or further scenes, actually. Okay. I shall see you later again. I know I keep saying I'll see you later, but really I will see you later. Have fun tomorrow with school, with work, whatever it is that you're going to be doing. Hopefully it fills you with joy, and hopefully you are safe and you journey in gratitude. Good night, toodaloo, and ciao.